everyone, welcome and thank you for joining us. We are here at Money 2020 Europe in Amsterdam. My name is Yulo from BrightTALK, and we are here with Anders the Cour from Saxo Payments. So thank you so much for joining us, Anders.
Thank you.
Could you let us know a bit about your role at Saxo and why you're here at Money 2020?
I'm the CEO of Saxo Payments Banking Circle. We've been building this business for the last couple of years, have seen extreme growth as a financial utility, supporting PSPs, acquirers, other fintech businesses and banks, and hence this is a big event for us.
So why has Banking Circle entered the lending sector?
I think we are a financial utility positioned to support payment service providers, acquirers and banks. And in that respect, we started out selling payments 2 years ago, added on FX as a product suite, and we will now move into offering our clients to do lending with their merchants. The main reason for doing this is that we think the industry, the fintech industry as a whole, will be more diversified and the players will offer a broader range of services. And these services, lending is an obvious part when you do financial solutions. Hence, we decided to launch this lending solution to the market as our next big product.
Was it a clear shift that you saw in the market, or did it take some time for you to notice this trend?
No, we've been preparing it for at least the last 1.5 years. We have already been running more than 50 million euros through the platform on testing with different payment gateways, and we are now ready to launch it in full scale. So it's been part of the roadmap for us. As over the next 10 years, we aim to launch 10, 15 financial products that will all cater for the Banking Circle's product offering, and hopefully that will all be part of creating that stickiness that our clients can use towards their merchant base.
And in terms of user research, did you look into this? Did you really see that this was a need that your clients had? I
think we did a lot of research. For example, we surveyed around 500 decision makers within the lending/SME industry to find out where are the needs, where are the pain points before we actually scope the solution. And I think we identified several pain points that are all being met by the product that we're now launching. So as an example, 3% of the SMEs that we spoke to had been able to obtain short-term or long-term financing in less than a week. The rest had not. And I think especially speed in that respect, if you are an SME, if you are a fast-growing digital business, speed is of the essence for you. And what we would really like to do is to enable our clients to offer that lending solution in their own name, in their own brand, just with us as the backend, where we provide the liquidity, we take the credit risk, and we provide the technology layer for them. They would obviously have to sell it, and we'll then have a profit-sharing mechanism with our clients.
And have you seen that SMEs have very specific challenges compared to larger organizations?
I think if you look at the need for speed, that is obviously a very big pain point, which I just mentioned. But you've also had, I think, many businesses struggle to grow because they can't obtain the financing needed. And that's especially the case in the SME market where especially the larger banks maybe doesn't have the model, also smaller banks, to cater for SME financing. What we aim to do here is provide a solution that can be used by both banks and payment businesses to actually cater for that need. So hopefully we'll both improve the abilities for these businesses, SME businesses, to obtain the funding, while we also improve both the business case and the competitive advantage of our clients.
So when we talk about SMEs, we talked about fundraising being a challenge, but how about when it comes to high interest rates, when it comes to borrowing? Is that something you looked into also?
I think we did that, and then as part of our survey, we found out that more than 35% of the SMEs were actually in a position where they thought they paid far too much in interest rate. 28% of them thought that the entire financing case was far too expensive, there were far too many fees, and that's, I think, part of that group actually succeeded in obtaining the funding. They were not in the group that didn't succeed. So I think what we have tried to do here is provide a solution to the market where our clients, the payment providers, the acquirers, the banks, can deliver a solution to their merchants, their SME base, where the SMEs can get full transparency in cost, they can repay on a flexible term. So if they have a period where they make a lot of money, they'll pay more back. If they make less money, they'll pay less back. So it's quite flexible, it's quite transparent, and it's delivered by our clients to their SMEs.
So why is this solution so groundbreaking though? Like, why hasn't it been done before?
I think if you look at the platform that we're building, we issue account numbers, account infrastructure to our clients so that they can use that towards their client base. We have, of course, been preparing this for a long time, but we would need to have sufficient critical mass of clients and flow before this would really benefit everyone, because we will have a third party taking the credit risk, and that credit risk will have to be measured in the entire platform. So if we have now 100 clients that can actually deliver that, we'll have a lot more critical mass in diversification in the book. And this means that to take the clients live, to offer them the payments, the accounts, and the FX was a necessity to actually be able to launch the lending. And altogether it works very, very well, because now the clients can get everything on the platform, and they can use the fact that they're actually live in a one-stop shop to do both payments in various countries, FX, and lending to the clients.
So I guess it's very apt that we're at this event then, because we always talk about the collaboration between fintechs and legacy systems. And I think with what you're talking about now is that you have really built an ecosystem around this platform.
Yeah, that's quite a good way to say it. I think we've built the platform with the different players on each side of the platform, and now where we have so much critical mass that we're actually starting to see the ecosystem, it makes sense for us to launch the lending solution, because we believe it will benefit all clients on the platform that actually launches it.
And can you tell us also a bit about just why banking circle lending is so different from other solutions out there?
I think the way we do it is we enable our clients to do the lending. So we're not doing it ourselves, we're not targeting the end merchants. We are literally delivering credit, liquidity, and someone to take the counterparty exposure on the merchant to payment service providers, acquirers, and banks, and they can then sell it to their SMEs.
So I guess in that sense, you're really giving them the flexibility to be independent in what they want to do.
Yes, they can choose the lending, they can choose not to do it, as they can with the other products that we have. As long as they have the accounts with us, it makes sense.
Okay. And so what are the benefits for fintechs and benefits for banks?
I think if you're a bank or you're a fintech, you not necessarily struggle with your SMEs, but the SME base is historically a large challenge, especially for banks, because they have high acquisition cost per merchant. That's also why when we had the survey, we saw that I think 39% of the people we spoke to had difficulties obtaining finance to actually buy the necessary equipment to grow their business. Because going into a bank, it can be a long process to get through a bank's credit assessment. The way we've done it is we've built a credit assessment, but on new methodology, and of course using the traditional components in credit assessment. So a bank that would get our API would have exactly the same flexibility as a fintech. They could deliver it, they could sell it in their own name, and they wouldn't have to take the credit risk on it. So a bank could easily get that, especially to their online merchants, if they don't have a viable solution for that.
Well, at the event today, we always talk about what's coming up in the future. So what does the future look like for you then?
I think the future in the financial industry is extremely interesting, exciting, and very fragmented.
Fragmented, how come?
I think if you see it, we currently see a separation of the value chain, where a lot of businesses try to move up the value chain and stay very close to the end clients, the consumer and the SMEs. And in that respect, 15 years ago, most incumbents in that part of the value chain were banks.
Yeah.
Now they are financial tech businesses, they're banks, and in 5-6 years they will also be large tech businesses trying to move in, large tail operators that move into that. That's why that part of the value chain becomes very fragmented. You then have the utility part of the value chain, that is where we are placed, where we literally, as the first business, solely focus on delivering the pipes and plumbing for the other businesses to reach the end merchants.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Anders. And for anybody out there who is interested to learn more about what you're doing at Saxo Payments, where can they go?
They can contact our team. We're always here to help and assist and have a conversation about how we can support our clients' needs. They can go to our website on www.bankingcircle.com and download our latest white paper on the lending side.
Sounds good, thank you. And so if for those who are interested, that white paper is also available for you in the attachment section of this session. And so thank you everyone for joining us. This is Ina Yulo from BrightTALK.